let's get into position for the prone rear delt raise. A couple starting pointers before I actually lay down on the bench. You do want the bench to be long enough so that when you're laying on it, it is supporting both your head and all the way up to your knees, okay? So that's the most important thing there. And then the second thing is you're going to want some sort of small towel that you can fold to help you keep a neutral neck. And so I want to just show you from sitting up what you're shooting for. A neutral neck, it's important to be able to find what that is for you. So for everyone, it's going to be a little different, but a neutral neck is pretty much when your chin is parallel with the ground. So your chin isn't like tilted up or tilted down compared to the floor, and having that space between your ears and your shoulders. So it's important to be able to find what that neutral neck is for you. And so when you're laying down, the idea is basically the same, that you lay down and keep that position. So now your chin is kind of, that line here is kind of perpendicular to the ground. Does that make sense? So we want to find that, and so just folding the towel so that it feels that neutral feeling. So it can take a little while to understand, but that's just one thing there. So you're going to lay on the bench face down. Let's go ahead and lay face down on the bench. Now, as I said, and I'm sorry in advance, my microphone is here, and when I lay down, it just gets all muffled, and it's just how it is. There's no way to go around it. So with your neck, go ahead and put the towel on your forehead, or you can also use the forearm if you're going to just do a single arm movement. Today I'm going to show you with 2 arms, but you could also use your forearm if you were doing it single arm. But it'll be something like this, okay? And actually for me right now, I feel like my neck is actually tilted a little bit down, so I'm going to roll it a little higher. And that feels better, okay? So you can kind of feel if your neck feels tilted down or up. Now the other thing is, if you'll notice, for me, the bench reaches my knees, but it doesn't go any further than that. So I'm going to have my knees in the air bent like this. Now, the reason you want to bend your knees is because if you just leave your legs straight out like this, it puts a lot of pressure on the back of the knee joint, and it can lead to knee instability over time. You know, when you go get a massage and you're laying on the table like this, they put like that little bolster under the lower part of your leg, and that's because of that issue. If you just have your legs out like this, in fact, for me, sometimes I do lay out in the sun to get some vitamin D, and I'll lay face down on like a beach chair, and I will have my legs like this, and later the backs will hurt, and then I'll take a walk and my knee will not feel so great. So I've learned not to do that, and I bought a bolster just for that purpose. Little tip there for any of you who do some laying in the sun. But yeah, so we do want to keep our knees bent like this, okay? From there, you're going to have your 2 dumbbells on either side of you here with the bench. Boy, it's really hard to talk to you guys like being face down. All right, from here, the dumbbells are just going to be here at your sides, just arms hanging straight down. And the palms can either be facing each other or facing behind you, okay? So whichever grip feels more comfortable and whichever grip will help you to feel the right muscle working, which, remember, is this muscle back in here. You want to feel the back of your right up here at the top of your shoulder. That's what you want to feel working, okay? Where was I? All right, here I am. To start the movement, you're going to pull your shoulder blades down and back. I'm lifting my head just so I can talk to you guys a little better. Shoulder blades down and back. And as you pull upwards, your elbows will move out and bend, and you want to pull up as high as you can so that your elbows go, as far behind your body as they can, and they're out far from your body. They're not down here close to the torso. The elbows are way out here, which you'll see from the front in a minute as well. Once you've gotten up pretty high, you're then going to try to rotate the forearm up as much as you can while keeping a nice neutral wrist, not bending the wrist, like that. And then rotate back down and then lower the arms. Okay, so let's do that again. Up, letting the elbows bend, elbows far from the body. Rotate the forearm up. Rotate back down and then lower the arm. Remember to pull the shoulder blades in and down the back as you start the movement. No, once you get the hang of it, it's supposed to be a fluid movement, not just like two parts, but try to make it fluid. So let me do a few for you now. I'm Rizelle. If you're a woman in your over 40s and almost 40s like myself, and you are looking to do home resistance training, but you've been intimidated by it because you don't know exactly how to do it and you're worried you're going to get hurt, if you come over to my website, inspirefulwomen.com, I go into more details on these types of movements, not only how to do it, but common mistakes, ways to make it easier, ways to make it harder, all in beautiful outdoor nature spots with chill music, bird sounds, river sounds, you name it. Come on over to my website at inspirefulwomen.com. Hi. All right, let's do it from the front now. The things I need to show you from the front that I couldn't show you from the side are how far your elbows are from the sides of your torso. So if you look at me here, where are those dumbbells? Okay, I can't see. As you see my arms coming up, do you see how far out they are? So they should be between 60 and 80 degrees from your body. So if your elbows were right by the sides of your torso, that would be considered 0 degrees. So then as we go up to shoulder height, like right in line with the shoulder, the elbows, that would be 90, okay? So we want to be just a bit below shoulder height, somewhere in here, okay? It's not like an exact rule, but that's about where we're going. As our elbows get farther from our body, that's what helps the rear delt be more involved, versus closer to our body, we start utilizing our lat muscles, the sides of our back more. So that's the reason for bringing our elbows out. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's the first thing. So we'll be going like that, of course, with your head laying down on the towel. Don't talk to a camera while you're doing this movement, okay? But yeah, so you'll go up and then your elbows will bend to about 70 to 90 degrees. So this would be 0 degrees of elbow bend, right? Just straight. And so 90 degrees of elbow bend would be with your hand directly underneath your elbow. And then 70 would be a little less, a little straighter, okay? So anywhere in here, again, it's not a rule. And the elbows bending is a little bit passive in the sense that as you pull your elbows up, the elbows will just naturally bend. The only way they wouldn't do that is if you actively straightened them. Does that make sense? As you went up? Because the pull of the dumbbell and gravity, they just cause your elbows to bend. So it's kind of like whatever naturally happens there is just go for that, okay? So I'll go ahead and do a few now from this position. Oh, I'm losing my towel, hold on. All right, here we go. Remember, feet in the air, bent knees. One small variation that you can do is just to skip the forearm rotation at the top of the movement. So you know how when we do the movement, we go up and then we do this little thing here at the top. That's called external rotation of the shoulder. It's just one of the functions of the rear delt. When we do this part of it, it's pretty hard and sometimes it means we have to use a slightly lower weight. If you'd like to just do a heavier weight and keep the movement simpler, at least some of the time, you can skip this part. So all we're going to be doing is raising up, okay? So that would be like this. From the side, if you skip the internal rotation part of the movement and you just do the up, that would look like this. Thanks for being with me today, ladies. Once again, I'm Razel, and if you are a woman in your over 40s and almost 40s like myself, you'd like to do full-length workouts in your home with these types of movements, more like laid-back type working out. I don't do intense jumping around stuff anymore. So if that sounds like the type of exercise you're interested in, come on over to my website at inspirefullwomen.com.